Thank you, Brian. Rick Rowe, Behind the Badge. I love doing this series because it tells the truth of who the men and women who wear the badge are and what they do. And there were dark clouds on Monday afternoon as the storms came through. This is Benton Fire District 4. These are paramedics, EMS, Bossier Parish EMS. And this is just kind of the tip of the iceberg of the number of emergency responders that responded that afternoon. Robbie, you're kind of the commander of the scene.
Yes, sir.
You go out to, this is Houghton, this is East Linton Road,
Benton,
Crouch Road, Benton. Okay. What was the scene like?
It was absolute chaos. You couldn't walk 10 feet without running into a tree or power lines, and we had multiple calls for service. I had different engine companies trying to cut their ways to us from 162, other engine companies cutting their way to that engine company.
Yeah, you've got firefighters not trained with chainsaws.
No, we're trained with chainsaws, but we're not in the tree cutting business, but we get in the tree cutting business real fast when citizens need help.
Amen. Also had highway department officials doing the same thing, clearing roads.
Heavy equipment.
Okay.
We were all working together.
All right, Jacob, you're on scene very quickly. You're going door to door.
Yes.
Okay, to assess the situation. Mm-hmm. You and two young firefighters come upon the scene where the young woman was killed.
Correct. We sent them inside to start triaging because we had actually two houses in the same place that had people trapped. Sent another two, Captain Rickert and Jake Goodwin, to the other house. Inside the house with the deceased was a young 1-year-old female and a 6-year-old male who was actually outside at the house at the time. We snagged them up, went and took them to Bossier Parish EMS, the supervisor vehicle.
Okay, these are the paramedics. You took them and they began the initial treatment.
Right. Well, we're trained to also do the initial assessment on them, but they're more equipped and better equipped for it. And so we did an assessment on them, triaged them, and took them to Bossier Parish EMS for them to do better definitive care.
And then they bring them in the ambulance to LSU where they're treated. All right. Steve, you're with Bossier Parish EMS. You're the commander. This is JT Wallace, of course, Benton Fire District 4. You're the commander. I know both of you are mighty proud of the way this entire well-oiled machine responded.
Absolutely. So proud of our guys, all of them. Like we said earlier, Benton Fire Department here works well with Bossier Parish EMS, as do all the fire departments in the parish. But our guys train for this type of stuff. We train together, so it makes it work like a machine.
Amen. You know? And you were here, but you were actually on scene, JT,
yes,
right?
Yes.
I know you're mighty proud of the way they performed.
It's beyond words. I mean, this is what we train for. This is the number one thing that we train for is to be organized, a well-oiled machine, and we do that well. We are that team.
Yeah, you say it a lot, bringing order from chaos, and that is what they do. By the way, and you're talking about everybody involved. You mentioned highway department officials, state police, sheriff's office, Bossier Parish Sheriff's Office involved, and of course Benton Fire District 4, the paramedics. My God, there's so many of them, folks. And again, sometimes we forget how important they are until we need them. But remember, when we need them, they're there, and we thank God they are, often saving lives. And when there is trouble, they don't run away, they don't shelter like most of us do, they run to it. Nate, coming back to you.
Very well said there, Rick, and a big thanks to all of our first responders. It has been a week, and that's basically how we started the week, was dealing with the remnants of Beryl. We've had power outages, trees down, power lines down, just an awful scene, and sadly, that death reported from the young woman. But a huge thank you to our first responders for getting us through these tough times. I mentioned that mom, and she does have two little ones there. They were injured. They're going to survive, but they need some help, and if there's something we can do to help them, we want to do that. Let me first tell you about Behind the Badge, though. This segment is dedicated to our first responders and our law enforcement officers to honor them for the things that they do in our communities to keep our communities safer and to get us through these types of weeks that we have had so far. So if you have a story you would like or someone you would like to let us know about, you can send in the details to behindthebadge@ktbs.com. Also to that GoFundMe page has been set up to help that family that was impacted. If you have any supplies or maybe a monetary donation that you could drop off, they'll be taking those at Cypress Baptist Church on Airline Drive.